Hi, I'm Beth, and this is my friend Joven.
Hi, happy to be here. Super exciting time today because we're talking about spending money, which is the fun part about money.
The money you earn, whether it's from a job or allowance, is usually deposited for safekeeping in a financial institution, which is a business that deals with financial transactions. You know these commonly as banks or credit unions. When you want to buy goods and services, you use your money to pay.
And you can access your money using several different methods of payment: cash, cards, electronic transfers, mobile payments using your smartphone or smartwatch. There are several popular methods to consider.
And you might have wondered, which is the right one to use?
What's the difference between a debit and a credit card? Or how does a mobile payment work?
There are so many options when it comes to choosing which method of payment to use. So let's explore and look closer at the pros and cons of the method of payments. Cash is the most recognized method of payment and probably the first one you learned about growing up. Cash is bills and coins that are issued by the government. Easy to use and easy to see how much you have.
But there's a trend developing towards a cashless society with popular methods to explore, including debit cards, credit cards, mobile payment, and others. There are two main ways to access money directly from your bank account: debit card or an EFT, an electronic funds transfer.
Debit is a card that you can request from your financial institution. It allows you to use money that's already in your bank account without having to carry cash. Debit is most commonly used for smaller purchases.
Purchases made with a credit card are similar, but rely on borrowed money from the bank with a promise to pay it back. There's a limit to how much you can borrow, and you'll pay interest on any balances you have not paid back. You must be 19 years old in BC to apply for a credit card and meet a few basic income and credit history requirements.
An EFT is an electronic transaction between two bank accounts without the need for proper documents. The most common are e-transfers and direct deposits, but EFTs also include pre-authorized payments, wire transfers, and more. What's unique about EFT is that their methods of payment require the input of specific information to initiate the transaction, such as account and institution number for EFTs or an email address and password for e-transfers. Many of these methods of payment can be accessed using your mobile device. We call this mobile payment. Using apps like Apple Pay, Google Pay, or PayPal will allow you to connect your debit or credit card to your mobile device. When you make a purchase, the money moves from your account to where you want to pay.
Checks may be declining in popularity as more automated methods of payment are becoming preferred, but they are still an important method of payment. A check is a written, dated, and signed document that tells your bank to pay a specific amount of money from your account to the payee listed on the check. Personal checks are written by the bank account holder with a promise that the money will be available. A guaranteed check is written on behalf of the account holder with a guarantee that the funds are available and the check will be paid.
Now that we've gone through several different methods of payment, let's explore the pros and cons of each, as well as situations where each method of payment would be ideal.
Right, let's start with cash. No transaction fees, but it could be easy to lose, and if you do, you often can't get it back. If you're buying something big, it's often not practical. If you don't have enough in your wallet, you may not be able to pay for your purchase. But it helps control spending, because you can only spend what you have on hand.
I like to use cash when I go to the lacrosse game with my friends, to pay for admission, pick up a souvenir, and grab food from the concession. Cash helps me control and stay within the limit of how much money I want to spend on an activity.
How about checks?
Well, many businesses no longer accept personal checks. Your bank may charge service fees to supply and process checks or to provide guaranteed checks. Checks are safe to send in the mail, and they are traceable, meaning once cashed, they provide proof that payment has been made.
My esports team organized a trip, and we all had to help pay for the bus. A personal check was ideal to track and trace that I had paid my share. I've also used checks to pay my cello instructor. I write out 12 of them and post-date them for each month of the year. That way I can give them all to my instructor at once, and she deposits them on the date I've post-dated them to. Okay, what about debit cards now?
Well, the speed of usage is definitely a pro, but the convenience makes it easier to spend money faster. You can ask your financial institution to set daily limits on your debit card, which can also help protect against unauthorized use or access.
I like to use my debit card when buying takeout. I'm never completely sure how much the bill for lunch might be. It's convenient that I don't run short and have enough to pay for my purchase.
Me too. On to credit cards.
They're contactless and fast, but when you use it to make a purchase, you're borrowing money that must be paid back.
Yes, keeping a close eye on your spending is very important if you're using a credit card. If you spend more than you can afford, you'll be stuck with interest charges and maybe even permanent damage to your credit score. Your credit score is similar to a report card. It informs financial institutions and businesses on how well you manage your money. Paying your credit card balance on time boosts your score, while failing to pay or being late to pay can result in losing the ability to borrow money again in the future. Consider whether or not you need a credit card, and if you decide you do, it's important to have a strategy to pay back any debt that you accumulate.
Credit cards are great for making online purchases, and most credit card companies offer protection against businesses who fail to deliver on their promises. So, if my order doesn't arrive, I can request a refund through the credit card company. Mobile payments work the same as debit or credit, making it fast and convenient. However, the technology is not available at all point-of-sale terminals yet.
I found mobile payments are perfect for shopping at the night market. Many of the small businesses in my communities make it really easy to make cashless payments with just my phone.
And finally, we have EFTs, electronic funds transfers.
They're fast and secure, but once the transfer is underway, it can't be stopped. So you'll want to make sure you've entered the details correctly.
It's an easy and hassle-free way to pay my buddy back for the concert tickets he scored.
With some methods of payment such as debit cards and EFT, transaction fees can be charged. Consider this carefully as the number of times you use it. The cost of fees could be adding up.
And don't be afraid to shop around for the best rates on the type of transactions you intend to use.
The mall is a great place to get all the things I need when I've got a big list, but before I head out, I check to see how much money I have in my account and I bring my debit card, which has a daily limit so I don't go too crazy. I just bought a pair of shoes and tapped the machine at the till with my debit card. I was able to pay for the shoes right away without using a credit card and borrowing money from the bank.
I'm really excited to start college this year, but before I do, I need to pay my first tuition installment. Unfortunately, my credit card limit isn't high enough for me to make a payment, so I'm gonna set up an EFT payment or an electronic funds transfer payment. Log into my bank app and then enter the account numbers that were given to me by my college. I type in the amount and press send. Once I set up the details once, next time I'll make a payment, they'll already be set up for me. College, here I go.
Cash, check, debit, and credit aren't the only ways to spend money. Cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many gaming network tokens are virtual currencies. They are not connected to any form of traditional money like the cash you keep in your wallet. You can use cryptocurrencies to purchase goods and services, but are somewhat restricted to certain online stores or social networks. Crypto is not regulated, controlled, or made secure by any bank or credit union and could be susceptible to hacks, which is a good enough reason for many to wait until the regulations are in place before getting started with it.
Buy now, pay later plans from companies like PayBright, Afterpay, and Uplift are popping up on the internet and in stores offering purchasers to pay in equal installments. These are normally set up for short-term borrowing of up to 6 to 12 months. But you should be prepared to pay borrowing charges and sometimes an administration fee. Approval is required, and just like a credit card, you must be 19 or older to apply.
So no matter the method of payment, it's important to understand before you pay, to plan ahead and consider the method as carefully as the actual purchase.
That's right. Understand the pros and cons of each method of payment to carefully evaluate your options and choose what works best for you.
And be sure to stay on top of your personal budget too. If you find that you've spent more than you actually have, you could be hit with a bad credit score, and that can take a long time to recover from.
Know your options and talk with your bank or credit union to find the perfect fit for you. Manage your money wisely.
Safe spending, everyone, and see you next time.